Everybody ready? Everybody feel good? I should always check before I hit the button to take us live, but it's too late now. There's no turning back. Take a moment. Take your bottles of water. Think about who you are, etc., etc. It is Sunday, November 1st, 2020, and you are listening to the Irrational Passions podcast. I am Alex O'Neill, your host this afternoon, evening, whatever time you would like to enjoy this. And joining me as always, we have Mr. Scott Guthier.
Hello.
Mr. Tony Horvath.
What it do?
And Mr. Brian Nobishin Jackson.
Scooby-Dooby, Scooby-Dooby-Dooby, Bop-a-da-boo, Dabba-dooby, wow. There you go.
I'm a scat man.
By the way, it does the thing.
Yeah, it does the thing. We did it, the four of us together again. Hello, welcome to Irrational Passions podcast, a video game podcast that happens on the weekends, sometimes Saturdays, sometimes Sundays, who knows. Live on YouTube, so check it out. Hello, welcome. We're all here. We survived Halloween. It's a very weird time. I don't like to bring it up, but it's the moments, days before the election in the United States, and I don't know if y'all feel it, but the tension is palpable. And it's not good vibes, but we're here to talk about video games, which are good vibes most of the time, hopefully. I don't really have a lot of housekeeping. A thing that is going to come out soon that we're going to tweet about from the Irrational Passions account, that the writing team and I, mostly the writing team, we're not going to do Extra Life. We're going to do a different 24-hour charity stream a little bit later for COVID relief. And we just didn't want to. We wanted to do a different charity, so we just didn't want to do it on the same date. So that is something worth noting out. But I was wondering, the four of Nobishin's planned his Extra Life. Scott, Tony, and I, we could do an Extra Life. We could figure something out.
Yeah, I'd be down to do something.
Yeah, it's soon. It's this coming weekend is the main date, but like the next weekend would be the time to do it. So could be fun. Something. Yeah. But look, if you have heard of Extra Life and you out there listening, watch Extra Life streams, go support folks, and definitely go donate for the Children's Miracle Network hospitals. It's very good cause. But that's the only real housekeeping I have. I want to talk about some video games. Tony, it's been a while since you've been on the show, man. What you been up to? Video games.
Yeah, so it's been a couple weeks. I think the last time I was on the show, I was kind of winding down on Genshin Impact.
Mm-hmm.
Played a little bit of Among Us, and was just starting to delve a little bit into hanging out in VR chat with some friends.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what part of the Adventure with Divinity Original Sin 2 I was on at that point in time. So I can just kind of cover the whole thing.
Sure.
So let's start with that. Several weeks ago, I started playing Divinity Original Sin 2 with Scott. We've played all the way through almost to the end of Act 2, which is a significant portion of the game because Acts 3 and 4 are pretty short. And we've been having a great time.
Nice.
Separately from that, because there was a time about a week and a half ago where for 7 days, Scott and I had inverse sleep schedules, where I started a solo playthrough. On that playthrough, I am in Act 4. So 95% of the way through the game.
Nice.
And Scott and I were supposed to play today/yesterday, but our schedules just didn't really line up. Plus, he was in Shinkatig yesterday. So
yeah. The co-op killer.
Yeah, well, it's kind of been the whole. It's kind of just been us running around together. So I'm excited to be there as Scott experiences the game.
Yeah, that's cool. And you'd played it before, right? So on this,
yeah, of course.
On the second playthrough,
here's the thing with Divinity Original Sin 2 is you play Act 1 300 times, and then you play Act 2 through 4 7 times.
Yeah.
So
are you playing it differently on your solo playthrough?
Solo playthrough is complete 100%. Do everything.
Okay.
I don't leave the act until all quests are done in the quest log.
Nice.
The difference, and it's funny because I'm playing with multiple characters rather than just Scott and I having our own character each, my inventory is a fucking disaster. It's so hard to keep things organized in Divinity because you pick up everything,
Yeah.
and you have to figure. And it's not the best game for inventory management, which that's okay. But yeah, it's a disaster area going on in my inventory, but it's good, being able to min max those characters and play all of them from all different perspectives and all the combats is pretty neat.
Do any of them have as sticky fingers as me?
No, I'm not playing that way. It's like a hero game.
I
So
love
I don't really.
Scott, the reckless thief.
I have a character that has thievery, but they don't. I don't like purposely like steal shit from every single person I see.
Hey, there's an appeal there. I get it.
Yeah. I definitely do pick up every single painting I ever see, though. All
Yeah.
paintings are mine.
It's
Basically.
really funny.
I'm basically an art collector.
I love it.
On some of the people that are really risky to steal stuff from are the ones where it makes the most, I would say, economical sense to do so.
Yeah.
Like, for example, if I were to buy on this most recent theft that I've done, if I were to buy the item straight up, it would have literally been all of my money and all of the extra stuff that I have had in my pockets,
Nice.
with like 100 gold to spare. And to give you a rough number, it was roughly 20k to buy everything that I
Yeah,
wanted.
like we're level 15 or something. So legendary items are like starting to be. Well, no, it's level 16. It's whatever the pink items are. I think those are legendaries. Yeah, those are legendaries, and then there is like epic items after that. But legendary items are new for us in our playthrough. So it's kind of like a big gear step up for both of our characters.
Very nice.
If we can find them, find the right vendors that have something that might be an upgrade. Because a lot of this, at least the stuff that I was wearing until recently, when we figured out how to use the upgrade materials that are included in one of the like built-in mod packs called gift bags that the developers put out for the game. All my stuff was like level 9. We're like coming on level 15. This is a massive difference. So I was like extremely squishy compared to what I should have been at that point. So it's been good. Divinity is great.
Stealing those for us too.
Yeah, it's a game that I'm always so intimidated by, but I want to make time for at some point,
Mm-hmm. It's a lot of fun to play. Both experiences are good. So the single player experience is really good because everything is at exactly your pace, so you can take whatever time you need to read, figure out what's going on, dig into the quests, do quests in just whatever order you end up doing it, and really do that in a way that you may not have time for in multiplayer, especially if you're playing with 4 people. Because people are always just going to be running around doing whatever. You may miss things. You may not be there for certain parts of the conversation, stuff like that. So while it is really fun to play with people, I am enjoying the single player experience just as much.
That's good.
So I think that they honestly play out as kind of like different games when you play with someone rather than when you play alone. So it's been cool.
Is there ever a point? This is a little spoilery, but is there ever a point where you make a major decision and it determines where you go, and you'll not see a place?
There are a lot of moments like that where if they're just think of it like you have to think of this game like it's a gamified version of D&D.
Yeah, that is how I'm thinking of it.
If you choose not to go to an area and do a thing, everything that has to do with that area is now irrelevant. It's almost as if it didn't exist.
Got it.
But on the contrary, there are breakpoints, game-like breakpoints where, Divinity is famous for having all of these origin characters that have their own separate backstories and all that, and the game will use those characters regardless of if you took them for your party or not.
Yeah.
There's just a certain point at which you need to have decided who you're bringing with you, and everyone else becomes unavailable.
Got it.
So there are some things like that.
Okay.
Also, every time you leave an act, you cannot return to that act.
Got it. Yeah. I was just thinking Witcher 2 is the biggest standout example of that with me is you make a kind of decision who you're going to side with at the end of the Act 1 and you go to 2 completely different areas for Act 2 and it very much determines how the
I don't
rest
think
of the
it's
game will go.
as broad as as that, but there are a lot of small moments like that that will have consequences farther down the line.
Got it.
So kind of a more Mass Effect style.
Right. You.
Sure.
It's more or less like you will go to the same map for every act, but you don't have to go to the same places on all the maps.
Got it. Okay.
Like if you just don't like the northeast in general, you just north and east don't jive with. You don't have to go there.
Cool. Okay. Yeah, that's different but cool. Equally cool, I think. What else you been playing, Tony?
So I've put 100 hours into VR chat.
Okay, they got you.
And this is why I ended up on an inverse sleep schedule to Scott. And it has almost nothing to do with VR chat in general.
Yeah.
You know, like Scott actually came on with me, I think the day after the podcast, and we were looking around, like trying to find some interesting stuff. And then like several weeks later, Scott came in with me, and there wasn't a lot new for me to show him between 2 weeks of putting a bunch of time into it. Most of the time spent is just with like in this one map where I go in with like 15 to 25 other people that are all Moon subs on Twitch, and we watch the stream in VR chat and just talk and get drunk.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, we have watch parties like every night. We do movie nights, all that kind of stuff, because there are literally movie theaters that you can go to in VR chat.
Yeah. You're living the future right now, Tony.
So it's basically like, you would go out with your friends, right? But COVID-19 is a thing, so we go into VR with our friends.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. What does it feel like to be part of the Cyberpunk future?
It's pretty cool.
Nice.
I don't have VR. I put an order in.
That's what I was gonna ask next.
For an index.
Okay, going big.
But it's like 8 weeks plus. I put the order in like 3 weeks ago, and the thing still says ships in 8 weeks.
Ugh.
So who knows when that'll pop up? But you could buy it right now for 250% of the price off eBay.
Yeah.
If you want to spend 2.5 grand.
Did you look into like the different options and?
Yeah, the thing is and people, this has been like kind of a conversation because a lot of the people who are doing this VR thing were all brought into it, as I was when Moon went in with Soda Poppin', who's another big Twitch streamer.
Yeah.
To do a thing, and that's kind of what got his whole community to put it in the eyes of his whole community, and then the few of us were like, let's make it a thing, right?
Yeah.
And there are a lot of people who already had VR that were already doing that kind of like shepherded it in, like the other 30-40 people. And then all of us other people are like, well, let's figure out how to get VR for this. Because honestly, I think that, it's not really a game. It's more of a social experience. And I think that that's worth the money.
It's like a PlayStation Home type thing.
Especially if it comes with, being able to play stuff like Thumper and Beat Saber and a bunch of these other really cool VR games.
Yeah, stuff that I think you would be into too.
I wouldn't compare it to PlayStation Home.
No, it's better. It's better. And plus it's like free. You don't need
significantly better.
But like the idea of like an online social space, like a chat room and stuff like.
When you get in there, there are certain things that are possible and like that people have made for VR chat that kind of sell the experience. Like if you go on a desktop and you just like see this thing, these very visual worlds, like interactive light shows and stuff, you're like, man, I can't imagine seeing this in VR.
Yeah, I mean, you showed me like the LeBlanc from Persona 5, and it's like, man,
if you want, I could show you some way cooler shit. But yes, for you and me, that is some of the top quality shit right there.
Yeah, like that's to just be there, and have
Sojiro right there to greet you. That's pretty sick.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff going on there, but it's just been really cool to to make a bunch of new friends and be able to hang out with them on a nightly basis. Not to mention we all get drunk like every fucking night, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, especially right now, dude. I totally understand.
Yeah, instead of going out to a bar, which we really can't do.
Yeah.
It's been a cool thing. So that's been fun, and it's really been a godsend during the COVID times. So.
Yeah. Totally. Good. I'm glad. Anything else, or is that really the?
Well, that was like the last 2 weeks before this week. This week I haven't really, other than a couple of nights of that, I haven't played any video games like at all. Because I watched a series on Netflix called The Queen's Gambit. I would recommend it. It's a limited series, 7 episodes long.
Okay.
centers around an orphaned girl in, I think, the 60s, who discovers that she has a talent for the chess.
Nice.
So this entire week I have been studying and learning how to play chess.
Nice. I know this is definitely a passion that's come up before. Our boy, what's his name? COD. The guy that can play chess in his brain 3 times over. Max Carlsen? Something?
Oh. Magnus Carlsen.
Magnus Carlsen.
Current world champion.
Yeah. We talked about him before, so I know there's an interest there, yeah.
Yeah, right. I've definitely had interest in it in the past. But I haven't really ever like gone to like learn the game myself, you know. But I just felt like doing it early, like about a week ago. And I've been watching. The funny thing is, once you watch something on YouTube about chess, even tangentially related to chess,
yeah, all your recommendations, dude.
It's literally hundreds of chess videos. So, and you know, there's a lot of really interesting stuff out there. So I've been watching videos on like learning how to play, because I know how to play chess, right? But I don't know how to play.
Yeah, like on a higher level.
Like when you think about like a position and like specific openings, you know, and like trying to play those and variations and all that, there's just tons and tons to learn, and it's been really interesting to dive into that. I'm still, you know, very much a novice, but I think I play like pretty well. I have another friend who I've spoken about a couple times on the show, also named Alex. He used to be pretty decently rated, like pretty high amateurish rating for a chess player when he was in high school. So he's been, you know, playing games with me every once in a while, and he's been like, "Wow, you're improving very quickly." So that's pretty cool. I don't think I'll ever be a master at chess, you know, but it's fun to learn and kind of delve into the more strategic side that kind of escaped me when I was younger, because I wasn't that interested in it.
Yeah, totally. And to be fair, like chess and VR chat are definitely like Quarantine's vibes obsessions. Like this is the time to get into this stuff. So I'm excited to hear how it goes. Is that all you got?
I think that's it. Yeah, it's been a whole lot of staring at chessboards this week. So
nice. Nabishin, how are you doing, man? Have you been playing any video games? It's been a couple more weeks for you, I think.
Yeah, not much on my side, honestly.
Okay. Have you been thinking? We talked about next gen. I wanted to get a check in for a couple of games with you. Where are you at? You're still excited for Demon's Souls?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's something I'm buying that I know I'm not gonna play or get too much into, but it very much is like the game of the PS5 that I think it's like the most interesting and the most I will like at least like to try out the most as far as like new games.
Yeah. I haven't asked you this yet, but are you excited for Astro? I don't know if you actually played Rescue Mission.
No and no.
Okay.
It's free with the console, so you know I'll play it anyway.
Yeah.
So we'll see how I'll generally like that. So
yeah, I was actually really into the stuff they showed. It's very Mario-like. It's weird when it's like PlayStation visualness, but it was very endearing. What about Spider-Man, Miles Morales?
It's funny that you say that because like I mean, obviously I was going to get it, but like, you know, I didn't really have like there was nothing about it honestly that was really like spoke to me as far as like me like actually making it think it stood out or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But then we got the news with the
Spider-Verse suit.
Basically, yeah, and just how cool that looks in general.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like, oh, this is the most exciting thing I've seen from this game. So like,
they sold some games with that, I think, for sure.
Yeah, so like that's definitely something I'll be playing. So,
okay. Are you gonna do the $70 version or no?
Yeah, you probably didn't see it, but like I posted like all the things I bought literally this morning because I couldn't sleep. So that's why I said my stuff is stacked. That's literally everything I just bought this morning.
Okay.
But yeah, so. Yeah, next week is a lot. It's a lot.
Cool. What about on the Xbox side? Anything? Oh, that's right. You got to hunt down one of those. So.
Yeah. that's still an eventual, like an inevitability down the road. Not right now, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But like it's something I do want to get. I would like to play my Xbox again because that's the update thing is just like it just bumps me. I can't really like play it the way I want to. That's why I don't really like. I will try to get it really invested into games on that system because like I don't want to like start something up and then like then when an update comes, I can't really play it the way I want to because I can't access online or whatever. So it's just like
Yeah.
like I can either just like turn off like not having updates with the system, which I have done, but like I'm paying for literally online, so like that's stupid. Or I will have to like disassemble the system so I could get it to work for like 20 minutes. So like I can finish the update and I can like actually play the stuff that I want to and have my online at the same time. So
yeah, but then like 2 weeks from then you'd have to do it all again. So I get you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm bummed. It's been about a month and a half since mine crapped out, and I miss it. There was definitely like, oh, it's October. I want to play Resident Evil 2. It's like, oh, I only own that on Xbox, so I guess not. But it just, I feel like I'm building up. I'm forcibly building up anticipation for when the Series X shows up. So
for sure.
But yeah, I just wanted to check in because Scott, told me you guys aren't fucking with PlayStations and Xboxes, so nor would I expect you either of you guys to. So
I had no reason to be honest.
Yeah, you're covered. So
I'll play Bloodborne at 60 frames.
Yeah, that's all there is. I mean, I'm gonna do it, but hey, we'll see if that actually happens. Cool. No Sonic games, nothing else. Just soul searching.
No, nothing.
Okay. It's good regardless, it's good to have you here. You don't have to play video games for us to care about you. I said to no one ever. Scott, then. Video games.
I don't think I have too much new.
Okay.
I did my Crystal Chronicles homework.
Nice. I have too. I have as well.
What? Didn't we play on your account though?
I just like got ready for the next time we play. I didn't like.
Okay.
I didn't like go ahead. We reset me to year 3. And didn't we reset you to year 3 as well, or?
I don't think so.
Okay. Did you do that already?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I just like did some grinding in other people's worlds, and I have other characters now. I think I told you that.
We mentioned that last time.
Yeah. So I'm ready for our next trip. Probably this week because I got nothing else going on. I might be getting a new car Wednesday, but that's life stuff.
New car or like new used car?
New used car.
Okay, cool one.
New to me car. I'm
Yeah.
I am inheriting it.
Hey, $0 car is pretty sick.
$0 car is the best kind
I
of
thought
car.
you already got this one.
It's still being figured out. I haven't actually gotten it. It's a Toyota Avalon, which is a big car from what I understand. But it'll run better than my 2002 Camry that's just chugging along at this point. So, but thankful for the years it put in. But there's
those things are big.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how
you'll feel like me, but plus 2 doors.
Yeah,
my car is literally like a fucking tank. It's so like wide around.
Wide, yeah. It's nice though.
It's a wide boy.
Play anything else, Scotty, outside of Crystal Chronicles?
A little more Hades. I didn't get much further this time around. I don't think I completed my run.
Okay.
It looks like it's probably gonna be fine though.
Okay. How many runs have you finished in Hades?
I don't know off the top of my head.
Okay.
I know that I did a wasteful run on accident. Like a repeat run. I forgot to turn up the heat.
Oh yeah, I don't think that at least you got some stuff from that, the darkness and stuff.
Not really, because at that point all I'm looking for is extra blood and gems.
Sure. There's plenty of blood and gems to get.
I got 0 from that run, I can assure you that.
Yeah.
I had to spend my money to just live through that one.
Yeah. Yeah, I made some progress in Hades, so I'm excited to talk about it.
Yeah,
so.
At this point I think you were able to get something that I don't have.
Yeah, I've got I've rolled credits on Hades. I've completed Hades.
Ah, so you went like real into Hades.
Yeah, I honestly, and I'd said last week when it was just the two of us, Scott, like how after finishing it, I was more, I felt more inclined to keep playing than like when I was like trying to grind myself up to where I was at. So yeah, definitely, I've played a lot more of it.
Yeah, because I'm treating it more or less how I did Isaac, which was I'd play a few rounds a week. I wouldn't try to go crazy over it.
Yeah, that's fair. I'll definitely be like, I'll play for a couple hours. So it's usually like 4 full runs, and then I'll stop. But yeah, I've finished Hades, and I've started unlocking like the secret weapons, which is like the 4th form of other weapons. I texted Scott, I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago, like, hey dude, have you gotten the 4th form of the sword, because I need you to get this right now. It's so good. I don't want to ruin it, but it's like so good. It's like a 2-handed weapon, so I immediately thought of Scott. But like when I just had the most broken run with that thing, and just absolutely devastated. Like I finished in like 19 minutes, which is the fastest I've done. And I felt very good.
How did you end up getting it? Is it something for beating the game?
So I think with the weapons, you have to like get a certain amount of kills with it, and then interact with a character that will know how to unlock that weapon. And they'll say like, because have you unlocked the 4th form of any weapon yet?
No.
So like,
which is really weird, because always go with the bonus treasures and dark whatever.
Yeah, so you're switching weapons all the time.
So I'm switching weapons all the time. So, but it has heavily favored the sword and the gauntlet, and it's like I don't die almost ever, no matter what, regardless of heat. On the first 2, I always at least get to at least Elysium.
Yeah, so like,
and I know that I have over 45 runs.
Nyx was the one that told me the secret to unlocking the sword, right? And she's like,
yeah, I don't see her that often.
Yeah, so I
perhaps
I had to get her up, I think, maybe.
Do you have to have you been spending a lot of the honeys?
The nectars, yeah. I've been trying to get everybody up at this point. So yeah, I don't know if that had something to do with it. I just know she was the one that told me. But it's cool how like, because they'll be like, you should say this in front of the weapon, and then you'll say a phrase, and I like that all of the 4th forms are like not Greek heroes or gods. So like the sword one's really cool. Like the shield, the 4th one is the aspect of Beowulf, which is cool. And they're all very different. So like it changes like the moveset for a lot of the weapons in some cases. Like the only one I don't have now is the griffin, the gun thing. Not the Aegis, that's the shield, but whatever that one's called. But yeah, like the spear. Like I'll just talk about that one, because that was the first one I got. I don't remember who told me that one. Told me to how to unlock that.
I guess another question that follows into this is, what's your highest heat level now?
4 heat.
Yeah, that's definitely. And then have you been focusing more on the 1 weapons with 4 heat?
I've been doing like working my way up with all the weapons to get as many resources as I can. So I did like 1 heat with all the weapons.
So you're doing mostly what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like I just grinded a lot, and I got everything up that I wanted to get up. And then you start unlocking like the deeper relationships with the other characters, and there's like after you beat the game, there are a couple items that you get, like keepsakes that help a lot.
Oh, you can only get keepsakes after you beat the game.
There's a couple. There's 2 I think that you can only get after you beat the game. One of them's really good. It gives you when it's fully upgraded, it gives you a level to a random boon every 4 rooms you finish. Period. So like, I basically always take that once I'm in the Temple of Sticks, because you just go through so many rooms there that you just get like 5 free boon upgrades just by playing, which is dope. So yeah, I've played a lot more in like when I'm in the end of that game of Hades. It's a lot of like, for me, because the story kind of finished out in a way that I liked a lot, and you can kind of spend a little bit more time with some of the characters and talk to them more, which is good. Which I'm into. I think I'm just not as into that stuff as much as a lot of other folks I know. But I still like the characters. I'm endeared to them a lot. I want to max them all out. And it seems like there are characters that you can romance, which I'm always a fan of. There's like, I think there's just 2 options. But yeah, it's just like kind of checking off boxes at this point. It's like, all right, let me try and level up find all the hidden aspects of all the weapons, right? Which I only have 1 left. So I can see all the weapons and then try and unlock all the stuff, try and finish all the prophecies that I would want to finish, try and see every boon for each god. I don't know, have you started fucking with Chaos at all yet, Scott?
I don't go without going into Chaos.
Hell yeah, all right. I just want to make sure.
If I can go there, I go there.
Mm-hmm. Me too, because I didn't know what those little things were for the longest time. I thought it was like, oh, pay life to skip floors. Why would I want to do that? Because it doesn't really.
I'm sorry. I should have told you, but I just thought it would be obvious. Say, ooh, what's this?
And so like
Lost life. I should find out at least once.
Yeah, I got there eventually, on my own. So then once I went down there, I was like, what the fuck is this? About like 15 hours into the game, I hadn't seen this at all yet. I'm like, what? Who is this man? Or they, I should say. So yeah, it's really cool. And once I started like doing those the chaos boons, like that's when I had like the really, really broken runs, like stacking their like 40% or like 40 to 90 additional percentage damage when you're striking from behind with the sword, when you get like the 200 extra damage when you're striking from behind with like the shawl that Nyx gives you that lets you do even more damage from behind. It's like, oh yeah, this is broken. I love this. I'm a big fan of this. So yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff in the kind of end game of that I'm just checking out and seeing now and trying to max out all the characters at this point. Kind of derailed us there, Scott. Was there anything else you wanted to talk about Hades or any other games?
We covered enough of Divinity.
Yeah.
So other than that, not really.
Okay.
I don't really have an update for the little invention experiment I went through.
Yeah.
Because I haven't done the follow-up yet because it hasn't been time to test it yet.
Yeah. That's fair. I do have an update for you, Scott, because I said I would let you know when I found out more. The director of the Demon Souls remake kind of went out and started doing interviews last week. I don't know if any of them made their way back to you, but he answered a lot of questions that folks had of like, hey, is world tendency still in this game? Yes, of course. He did say that they updated the UI so you could tell what world tendency you were in a little bit better. People asked, is the monk fight still in this game? Yes. Untouched, unchanged. It's perfect as is, Scott. Why would we change it?
Why? Why would we ever? Like it's not even like a thing where it's like, well, how am I ever supposed to beat this? It's like, you're gonna beat it.
You'll get there.
Eventually, you're going to walk into somebody who's gonna disconnect, and you're gonna win by default.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're going of the fights in this game, that is the one where you are going to beat it.
Yeah, you'll get there. They also he said one of the few changes they made was upping the player count so you can summon up to 2 other players now, and you can be invaded by up to 3 players now, which is cool.
Okay,
which is in parity with like
reduced
Dark
limit
Souls.
before.
Yeah, it was I think it was 2 to 2 before. Now it's 3 and 3. So, but yeah, it's it's that game. They people asked if they made the 6th Archstone, the broken
Archstone. They make
Archstone.
this game 4-on-4.
Yeah, not 4-on-4. Now it's even more. Now it's more chaos. They did not make the 6 Archstone. They didn't make any new areas. Just like with Shadow of the Colossus, I wasn't necessarily thinking they would. So, but there, now you know, Scott. I just wanted you to know they're doing it right. I'm very excited. I'm excited for a lot of people who like never played this game also to play it for the first time. Experience its its wonderful glory and difficulty. I played some other games. I outside of Hades, I sat down. I've been talking about replaying through Sly 4, so I like got to a point with it where I was like, I don't know if I'm even gonna finish this, just because like I was distracted by other things. I was pretty deep in a Spelunky hole at that point. But I liked it a lot, and I went through and I finished it. Like I beat the story, and I was like, all right, let's look at how much work this platinum would be. Like actually 100%ing this game, which I had never done before, and I know we had talked about it before. Nabashin, you had gone through it, and I appreciate you very much for it now. Like having done it myself, I don't know if this stuck out to you, if you remember it all, doing all this stuff in this game, but it's very frustrating and tedious. There's one trophy in that game for like opening all the maps in the game, like hitting select in every area that there was a different area to see. And I had to basically replay every single mission in the game to get that. Luckily, you don't have to like finish each mission with the map. You just have to like look at it. So, but there's no checkboxes for that. So I had to just blindly go through every mission, hoping eventually.
That it would appear.
Yeah, because I didn't know about it. Like I checked the trophies like 3/4 of the way through my playthrough, and I was like, oh fuck, if I had just been checking the map every time. But the one, they're like challenge trophies for...
Hold on, let's go into this one. Like, do you have to get the map in the level, or
no,
you just open the...
You hit select to open the map, right? But there are some missions, right, where you're like going through different areas as part of that one mission. So you have to get like 30 minutes into certain missions to get to a part where you can finally see a map, which was frustrating. It was minimal, but like the whole time it took me to do the platinum from after I finished the game was an entire day. Like I started like trying to get the trophies around 6 a.m. Like on Tuesday or something, and I finished at like 8 p.m. So I was or like 7 p.m. It wasn't quite that late, but yeah, I open every map. There are certain ones where like you had to do a mission perfectly, either without getting hit or without like, there was a dancing minigame. There's always a dancing minigame with these fucking platinum trophies. I'll tell you what, Navichin, I'll tell you what. It was miserable. That was the one that took me an hour and 25 minutes to do. So, but I did it. That was actually one of the first challenges I did. So there were a lot of like, there are these arcade machines that you have to beat the high score on, that just take forever. They're like 30 minutes, and if you get to the end, you don't have a high enough score, you're like, all right, well, there is 30 minutes. And I remember when I did one of those first, and I was like, I'll never get the high score in this. And I saw you have to get the high score in all 6 arcade machines in order to get the platinum. I was like, oh, well, I guess I'll just never do this. But I gritted my teeth, and I sat down and did it. And I only had one hard crash and lock up on my PS3. I'm using like my, I have a PS3 Slim now. I don't just have my old school backwards compatible one. So it still wasn't great, but I got through it. I don't think I'll ever try, like, unlike the first Sly games where it's kind of like a joy to 100% them. It's like this is just fun, I'm just getting stuff, and I get extra things for it. This was way more like, oh boy, these trophies are miserable. But I'm through it. I don't ever have to do it again, and I did it. So now I can say I have all the Sly Cooper platinums happily. And I figured, like,
fire up.
Go ahead.
You're gonna fire up your Vita and get that trophy as well?
Oh shit! I could probably turn on my Vita because it'll just pop right automatically.
Yeah, it should just pop.
Or
it should have some kind of form of cross save or whatever.
Yeah, you upload in the menu. Yeah, I should do that. I have my Vita TV hooked up, so I'll just do it in that. I forgot you get like another one for that because I remember getting burned by Okami where it came to PS4.
Mm-hmm.
And then they just like brought over the trophies from the PS3 version. I was like, fuck, these bastards. But yeah, that was great. Like at the end of the day, not necessarily like the challenges that I had to do post game. Those weren't very fun, but The game itself is wonderful. It's stellar. It's beautiful. It's one of the best looking PS3 games. I genuinely think it's probably one of my favorites for a while to come. So yeah, I'm very happy I went back and of all the revisiting of video games that I've done this year, right? Like I replayed some of the Ratchet and Clank games, and I still love those games. I don't think I necessarily felt any different, just more kind of evolved on those feelings. I replayed the Batman games, Kingdom Hearts games, but like Sly 4 was definitely the one where I like didn't necessarily remember that game fondly, and I have a completely different opinion of it now, and I feel much better about it. So happy that I went through it. The other stuff I've been playing, though, just not to harp on trophy hunting too much. I really like Hades. Like I said, I feel like I'm just like not on the same. Where I'm like I don't like it as much as everyone else, even in spite of how much I've played it. Not to say that I need to or anything. Like I like it a lot. It's great. I think it's a great game. But I was like, man, I want to go back and see what Pyre was like, because I remember really liking Pyre and thinking that was like such a masterful game. And let me tell you, just Pyre is like, it's like a big hearty steak and a fine wine, right? And I know I'm speaking to Tony right now. It is just like this dense, like thick, very nuanced, very like, I don't want to say like high class or ritzy, right? Like, because anybody could enjoy it, I really think. But it is a very deep, flavorful experience, right? When you bite into it, when you start Pyre, like put on the headphones, close the laptop, turn off the podcast, just let yourself sink into Pyre. It is just a rich experience. It is just a fantasy world that just feels like anyone that likes stuff like Lord of the Rings or of that ilk. Like I when I was talking to Jacob Bryant, a friend of mine, friend of the show, everybody should know who Jacob Bryant is. I always worry, like, if I reference someone who hasn't been on for 2.5 years, will people know? It doesn't matter.
The Irrational Passions lore masters will know.
Yeah, they'll know. The people that matter know. I was telling him, and I know this will also, I think, get your ears, Tony, of like, it reminds me a lot of like a Brandon Sanderson novel.
Your ears.
I don't know turns of phrase, idioms. I make them all up every time anyway. So it just, you feel like every time they kind of throw a name at you, and the way they introduce those things to you is like, oh man, this world just has its own context that I'm kind of stepping into. And even if you don't understand everything that's happening, you appreciate its value and you appreciate how rich it is. And you, like, for me, it's just like, oh, this is just like, I feel so engrossed in this world. And there's just nothing like it. Like, really sitting down and playing Pyre, there's just nothing like it. For folks who don't know, it's like a mix between a visual novel RPG and also like a sports game.
And on the topic of Brandon Sanderson, Rhythm of War comes out in 16 days.
That's the next one in the series.
A fourth book. Yeah.
Very excited. Jacob Bryant's been reading them for the first time. He was telling me about them.
They're so fucking good.
Yeah, I know. I gotta get back into them. Now that I'm like out of podcasts to listen to, maybe I'll just get back into the audiobook game. But yeah, Pyre is just great. Like, I don't even want to say too much about it. Like, I've definitely talked about it on the show in the past when it came out in, I think, 2017. I was happy that going back to it, it felt just as poignant and wonderful and deep and rich and beautiful as I remember it. So the only other thing I've been playing is the new Dark Pictures anthology game. This is like the supermassive games that folks that made Until Dawn, just kind of doing what they do with teen horror or those kinds of vibes. It's called Little Hope. I played through it. It came out on Friday. I played through it on Friday with Jacob Bryant. It's too soon, I think, to get too much into it with spoilers or anything. I don't want to ruin anything for anybody out there. But I would say I enjoyed it more than Man of Medan. I had way more fun, like, theorizing what's going on or trying to figure out what's happening or trying to kind of lead the characters in certain directions. Kind of curious, like, the different kind of stuff that can happen with the ending. It feels like there's a lot more... Maybe there's a lot more permutation with that. Maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. But I had a great time. It also scared the shit out of me. So I screamed a lot during that playthrough. But it was fun because, I played online with a friend. I think that's probably the best way to play those games. They also have like a theater mode where you can play in the same room, which is probably good as well. But I appreciated the variety of characters and different fuck-withing that we could do with each other, like especially in the scenes where we were separate. Super cool. So yeah, I like those games a lot. I think those games appeal to me specifically in a big way, and I really liked Man of Medan, especially with multiple playthroughs and stuff. So I think maybe those games speak to me more than they speak to most folks in general. But I don't care. They're great. I recommend them. If you like those things, you'll like this one. So that's it. That's all I took a break from Spelunky 2. I was like, I need to take a week off. I played way too much of that game, so and I played just a little bit for the first time in over a week today, and I was like, oh, this is nice. I can just enjoy this now. I don't have to stress too much about finishing and winning and beating it and doing all these things and unlocking all the secrets. I still would like to do that, but I think like a break is good. I'm hoping that if I continue streaming it, that'll be kind of like the only time I play Spelunky every week, which I'm good with. But that's it. That's all I've been playing. I didn't pull any news this week outside of the Demon Souls stuff, but I really don't.
I don't want to talk about how Cyberpunk got delayed again.
Oh shit! Yeah, Cyberpunk. 21 more days.
Literally less than 12 hours after they put a tweet out for their official account saying that they would definitely not be delaying it again.
Yeah, and
that someone could take days off of work.
Yeah, and that a week before that the game went gold. It was printed to discs. So yeah, it's
bizarre,
ridiculous, crazy. I mean, that is the year that we live in. Not a lot. I mean, where everybody's just waiting for new consoles to come out at this point. And there's a bunch of games that are waiting for that too. And I think once...
I mean, the funny part is, you know what happened with that, right?
I mean, Go ahead, Scott.
So, it's after they explained why they did it.
Yeah.
They did come out with an explanation that says, hey, listen... We thought the day 1 patch, or day 0 patch as people call it, hey, that's going to take a little longer than we thought. And basically, not too long after they said, hey, we don't need to what's it called?
Delay it?
We don't need to delay anything. They probably found an unshippable bug.
Oh, certainly.
At least in their eyes. Hey, listen, we can't actually send this out like this.
And also, the staff found out that they were delaying it. Part of the staff found out that they were delaying it via that same tweet that they sent out. So, it's a lot of questionable things going on.
Yeah, it was definitely that sort of situation.
Yeah, it's a last-minute decision.
By the way, one of the testers found this, and this has to go immediately.
Yeah, we gotta pump the brakes on this one. I'm trying to think. Was there other? I feel like I remember another. Far Cry 6 got delayed. That was another delay that happened, but no one cares about that game. I don't even think Far Cry fans care. Nabishin doesn't even care about that game. It's not true. You're probably gonna play that, Nabishin. Far Cry.
Far Cry 6?
Yeah. Did you play Far Cry 5 all the way through?
No.
No.
I maybe played an hour or two, and I just felt, and the story just didn't do it for me.
Yeah. But it was very good visually. I remember we talked about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know. Are you fully off of Far Cry 6 because of that, or would you buy that game again?
It's a Ubisoft game, so I could just wait 2 weeks and it'll be $5. But
super true.
But no, it's not something I'll get. Katie will get in. She'll tell me about it. So
yeah, true.
Unless she wants to co-op through the game, I have no reason to actually get the game.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I hadn't asked you that before. I was curious. And then the Far Cry New Dawn, that was the one between this one and the last one. Yeah, I don't know. We're on the dam before the games come out. It's about to break, and everything is kind of biding its time until then. So Not
I
a
got
lot.
a PS5 controller today, by the way.
Oh yeah, you got it. What do
Came
you-
in the mail.
What do you think of it?
It's a controller.
How big is it? Is it big? Does it feel big?
It feels hefty. It feels hefty in my hand.
Okay.
Like bigger than a DualShock 4, I would say. But it feels right. It feels really nice. Haven't played the light changing like vibration games or whatever, but like
Yeah, I'm very excited.
excited to like actually try that out. Because apparently that's really good and feels like something very innovative. That will be supported for a year and not be done anymore.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens.
I'm hoping like even if the haptics kind of like HD Rumble doesn't get supported, I'm hoping the triggers do. That's the stuff that if like Destiny puts that shit in their game, which I think they've said they would like to, then like doesn't really matter because I'm gonna play that game
like
for years anyway.
Like how long was like the vibrating sugars on the Xbox One controller supported for? Cause like Forza was the only thing I really knew like actually did it, but like
There's still a couple.
no one really
studios-
talks about it. Yeah.
Yeah, there's still a couple studios that support it, like the Forza studio, like God, I can't remember. Playground. There we go. Playground and
I can imagine that once you do it, there's no real reason to pull it, right?
yeah, but like then it's like will new developers support it and stuff, or like new IPs and stuff. Like EA, I don't think any of their fucking games use vibrating triggers. I don't think any of them are going to on PS5 either.
I mean, to be fair, a lot of people don't like the general Rumble.
Yeah, true. It's, I mean,
But I mean, like, to be fair, you know, having your trigger have haptics is much different from something shaking and then you going, why is not my body but my controller shaking?
yeah, it's a very different experience, I think, especially in response to what you're doing and stuff. No, I mean, I think that stuff is cool. I think like what Nintendo did with it was really cool too, and I was like, man, I really wish there was more stuff like this. So even if we only get a few handful of launch games that really do stuff with it, I think it's possible Sony's games will fuck with it a little bit, at least for that first year.
Oh, I'm sure Sony teams will do it. Like they still support their touchpad, so I think they're fine as far as that. It's just more of like everything else, and like like even HD Rumble for the Switch, like, well, that's just a Nintendo thing in general as far as like
Yeah.
they just kind of like fall off on their own stuff, or they just make something and don't really even support it after a while, or they have just the one game for it and just nothing else for it. Like the damn boat that you put your 3DS in to have a second analog stick or something.
Twilight Princess crossbow training and shit, like totally, yeah. That's their whole MO. And like PlayStation is at least I think they will always introduce a handful of things that kind of use whatever thing they have. Yeah, except for I have Judgment thing, except for the card reader thing.
They used the camera though.
Yeah, did it use just the regular camera or did it use its own like?
It used the regular
Yep.
camera.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
They had the super weird
Card reading camera, you know?
the super weird old PS camera.
Okay,
I
got
guess they sort of morphed that into their VR setup, didn't they?
it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess they still have it. No, that's still the same. But I don't think it's the same thing anymore.
But like there's a new PlayStation camera for the PS5 and it doesn't work with the PSVR, right? You have to use the PS4 PSVR camera. Like there's just stuff that doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, like I think their name is. I saw on like a tweet or something like that they're not supporting VR natively for like PS5 in general. Like their camera doesn't support it. And like if you want to play VR games, you'll just have to get an adapter, which is free, which is good on them for that. But like
Yeah.
I mean, I guess they abandoned that as well.
That really doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, I understand that they want to jump off the VR bandwagon. To me, that makes sense.
Yeah.
To me, that's more of a, hey, if you want to do VR, you pick up a Vive and a PC that can actually handle what VR is trying to do.
Yeah.
Because I did notice that there was something a bit off about the PSVR when I was doing it.
It can be good.
It's always like the one thing that always like I've seen with like PSVR stuff is like it's always slightly tilted to the right.
Yeah, it's always
Like,
a little askew.
That's always bothered me. Like,
Yeah.
No, and then there's also stuff like, this might be just the games, but I also notice that there's some weird graphical stuff that happens when you move your head quickly.
Yeah, that definitely happens. But yeah, I don't know. It's a bummer that unless they put out like a new VR headset for 5, but I doubt they'll do that.
You know what's funny? I've never tried VR, PlayStation VR.
Still?
Yeah, like even when Justin, I brought it over. Like, I never put it on. Like, I don't know. Like, that whole aspect is just like completely missed me.
Yeah.
No, I didn't. I saw Scott like wave his stick around it. But that's about it.
Yeah, we
I mean,
did.
it was Alex. It
was probably just me. Let's be real.
Well, give or take 8 to 15 weeks. Come hang out.
Yeah. Drive on up.
Well, here's the thing that we're talking about here. It's like, I'm pretty sure that the experience that you're going to get is going to be much better than the PSVR.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like,
Totally.
that's what I'm trying to get at there. And another thing is, if they're gonna take out like the VR features, why do you have the camera?
The camera is
Like,
for like their like integrated Twitch thing, so you can have like a picture of you, like it'll capture you as well for Twitch. Which is it's a big thing on that platform, to be fair.
Why not just enable camera support? Because if somebody's going to be doing like a Twitch live stream stuff like that, like why would you want like a
because
PlayStation
PlayStation
great PlayStation camera?
Because PlayStation's is gonna charge you $70 for the only camera that works on their fucking console, dude.
It's impossible to find a camera right now. Well, not impossible, but like
anybody who's half decent is just going to, what is it called?
Set up like an actual stream, but like this isn't for them. This is to get $70 out of the people that are like less committed. Not. It was always like an option with VR with you. It was always like you just weren't into it, right? Like you didn't really feel the appeal.
It was something I just completely missed. Like the only time I ever did anything VR ever was like my niece or my nephew one Christmas got like one of those like cardboard Google Cardboard things, and like I did a little bit of that, and that was like off center for me, and I was like, okay, and that was done. But obviously that's not the best example of VR, and like I've always seen like cool VR stuff. Like I've seen Among Us in VR. That looks fun and amazing. But like
the Among Us in VR is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But,
I think VR is also a little cruel to folks with glasses, which is unfortunate.
You can get prescription lenses, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but that's like a whole other thing.
That's a more serious thing.
Yeah.
What do you mean cruel to people with glasses?
Like it's hard. A lot of the helmets you have to wear your glasses in the helmet, and that's just not as comfortable for some people. I know it's not everybody, but
most stuff, like because I've watched the fucking tech reviews, a bunch of stuff. Most stuff, I'll put it this way, I'm not entirely sure. I haven't seen every headset, but I've seen at least one from every major headset manufacturer, and I haven't seen one that has yet to give you space for those glasses.
Yeah, I mean, like, I've heard anecdotal.
It's like,
just some people have trouble with it, some people don't.
I can only imagine that you're wearing like the frames of your glasses is more the issue than the headset itself.
Could be, yeah. Or contacts,
Because
other solutions.
I've worn several glasses that weren't my prescription glasses
And broken several glasses.
Never felt like they really belonged on my face.
Yeah.
Right? So if you're somebody that needs, I'll say, reading glasses, and that makes a difference here, I'm not saying that it does. But if most of those reading glasses, they're shitty fits. So you will know that they're on all the time.
Yeah.
So and then there are also just some extremely bulky frames. And I'm assuming people get some level of discomfort on their glasses, so they don't run into the same issue that I do, where I put my glasses on, and oh boy, where are my glasses?
Oh boy.
I wore glasses, and they're comfortable enough to the point where I could visibly see the edges of my frame, and I would still be looking for my glasses.
Yeah. My mom does the same thing too with hers now. I feel that. That's like the best place to be in with glasses, though.
And that's how you know that they're comfortable.
Yeah.
You put them on, and after 10, 20 seconds, it doesn't feel like they're on anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know if that was ever a factor.
I feel like the only place where that comes on, and like I can feel your gunners would probably go good with your VR glasses at this point too.
I haven't actually tried them in VR before, but these are super. The ones I'm wearing now are very, very comfortable. Like I definitely don't even notice they're there after an hour or so. So maybe.
And the only ones I can really see being a problem are the oversized glasses.
Yeah.
This is
Aviators.
the type of glasses. No, not it's bigger than. These are the prescription glasses that are set to frames that are bigger than aviators.
Or where you have like the lines and the glasses on the bottom part, so that way if you look down, it's like a heavier focus. So when you're like really like leading into it, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Me just going off on my glasses rant right there. It's worth a try. I'm gonna say this, Nabishin. If you ever get the opportunity, it's worth at least trying.
I mean, why? This means dead now. Who cares?
I mean, true. I mean, Valve's gonna try and keep it alive in whatever way, and Facebook certainly has got a vested interest in it.
No, at this point, I think that the technology surrounding VR itself is going to allow it to not go away. I don't think that. I think it's dead on consoles.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
It never belonged there in the first place.
Yeah, it's not the right place, I think.
No, like VR is the thing that you do where it's like, okay, this is my VR setup. I'm gonna roll away my chair to an easily accessible spot, so that if a game calls for me to be allowed to sit down, I know where that chair is going to be.
Yeah, yeah.
So I can grab it.
Yeah.
But I have this room set, like my setup is built into VR, and for most, I don't see the hey, let me pick up a $500 to $600 console, but then like $1,000 headset with extras and accessories to be your go-to VR place.
Yeah. I mean,
that's why like Half-Life Alyx ain't gonna win any game of the year because only like 1,000 people played it.
Yeah.
So it'll be hard to sell for the people to be like, how I won, okay. So unless it's like a PC site, then that's totally understandable. But like,
and I think there will be those people that kind of try and fight for that. But yeah, I don't know.
That's why PlayStation fucking up. They should have had Half-Life Alyx on PlayStation VR by the end of this year. They didn't, so they messed up.
Yeah, should have bought that exclusivity.
They don't even need to buy it. Just have it there, so people can at least understand it.
The Xbox wasn't trying to buy it.
I mean, like I just feel like Valve just wanted to have that on their thing, but you'd have to pay.
I think Valve just wanted to get it out.
Thing, though, right? All VR mostly leads to Steam right now.
Yeah,
Steam VR is the engine for most of it. So eventually, it'll just be Steam.
Yeah.
So,
consoles
are the only holdout there.
Valve wasn't going to go through the work to downres their game for PlayStation if PlayStation didn't pay them for that. I'm positive of that. They wanted that game to look as good as it could, and that's why it could only run on the Index when it came out. And
or basically, yeah, if PlayStation wasn't about to pay a third party to do it either.
Exactly, yeah. They wanted that game to be the showpiece, and like obviously they're on PC, just like their solutions around everything. You could use your Quest or whatever to play that game if you wanted, but that's why I think they did what they did. And I think that makes sense, but I think they knew that not a lot of people were going to play that game, but they wanted to make it as good as they wanted to make it. So, yeah, I don't know. I think honestly, what Tony's doing, VR chat, I think that's where VR is going to be, man. That's what it's going to.
I still don't know how VR chat makes its money.
I don't. Yeah, it's free, right? So like,
don't monetize anything. I don't understand. They must be selling data or some shit.
Yeah, it must be. all your credit cards will. Your scanned face will end up in a bunch of videos.
Yeah, I was like, they don't have my credit cards. They don't charge me for anything.
It's true, yeah.
You just put ads on the back of your head so other people can see it, but you don't actually see it yourself.
You're like a walking billboard.
But actually, that wouldn't work very well because like 90% of people
look into that. I could see it being something along the lines of Avatar purchases.
Yeah.
Them scooping some money off of that.
Maybe. But I don't know. It's most people like commission an artist to model something specifically for them, and then they personally keep that avatar.
Yeah.
You know.
Mm.
So yeah, I'm not sure because I've seen a lot of people doing that, but 90% of people in VR are staring in a mirror all the time anyway. So you'd see advertisements on the back of your head.
Yeah. That's funny. Yeah. I don't know. That was an interesting conversation about VR, though. I'm gonna wrap us up now. I'm gonna take us to the end zone. If you'd like to be a part of the show, you can do so. You can tweet us your questions at IrrationalPod. I would really like it if you did it. Honestly, I'm just gonna say that. Just tweet some questions at us. Next gen thoughts, feelings. Tell me if you're excited about something. I would like to know. But for general stuff, you can follow the show on Twitter at IrrationalPod. You can follow myself at Nobshin. I'm AlFighter27. Nobshin's NABESHIN186. You've been tweeting some positive stuff recently, Nobshin. I've appreciated it. I just want to give you appreciation for that. And many things, of course.
Twitter's just a one-way conversation for me now, so that's better for me mentally. So
yeah, and probably everyone that's on Twitter as well. Maybe don't go out there, start replying to people. It's probably bad for you. Check out our video stuff on Twitch and YouTube. Just look for Rational Passions. Some more viewpoints and stuff coming out this week. We got a video review of Genshin Impact coming up soon from Mike Burgess. Excited to have that out there. And rate and review us wherever you listen, whether it's Apple Podcasts or Spotify, whatever you like. And for everything else, rationalpassions.com. It's the place to be. We've reached the end of the show.
How has general dumb tangential conversation? How's everybody in this site been doing so far?
How everybody in what?
Everybody at Irrational Passions.
How's everybody doing, like hype wise or just in general?
Well, just in general, like Mike and Scott and Jarrett.
So I mean, I don't want to put everybody's business out there, but
not that way. I meant more like as far as like
with video games.
Yeah, I guess like for 2020 or 2021, like what are they planning on doing? Do they plan on doing anything, or are you planning on growing? Or I don't know. I'm just asking.
It's been a tough year for everybody, I think. On the editorial side, like that's we've had some commiserating. Our Slack, we have the random channel in Slack where we've had I have, Mike has, Scott. We've all like kind of gone in there and just like, all right, you guys, if you're around, like I just got to rant about this real quick. I don't know specific plans. I know some moves some folks are making that I'm hopeful for. But
okay, so I have the question to how they make the money.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. I want to hear
put ads on the back of their heads.
I knew it.
It would take long, but so in short, the application, of course, just doesn't.
Yeah.
However, I took a look at the names of the investors, and those investors are also people who invest in VR headset technology.
Oh, okay.
The VR chat, just looking at the stats, seems to be people's main draw into buying a headset. So a good portion of the money that Tony's found is headsets going back into those investors.
Interesting. Yeah, it does make sense. It's a very popular app.
It is like the VR killer app.
Yeah.
So.
And it being like a social thing, it's kind of like endless in its potential. So.
Yeah, and there are some competitors that are being worked on, but they are miles behind.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah.
So.
Well, now we have the answer. Yeah, I don't want to speak for folks out there. I don't know exactly what everyone's planning, but we had a conversation about like game of the year lately, and everyone's vibe is like, I don't want to celebrate 2020. Like I don't want to be like a cheering on the vibes of this year. I'd rather like.
I mean, that's also disrespectful to the great year of games we've had, though.
Yeah, and they
like,
said
it would make more sense to do that in 2019. Because it was a meh kind of year with, I would say, meh kind of game.
But like they said they'd rather just like, instead of making it like a big argument type thing, like let's just talk about the stuff that we actually cared about, right?
We already know.
Alert, I did do shit this year as far as that game of the year stuff.
Yeah. And like
we don't need to. There's only one game on the list.
Yeah, we already decided it. Scott didn't even get a say. It doesn't matter.
Nope.
Sorry, Scott. It's Persona 5 again. Like we got to get 2
Yeah, I
years.
don't know
in
what you were
there.
expecting.
I mean, you can break the rules year after year, but I'm going to be here to remind you for about 5 fucking hours straight you can't do that.
It's just us hearing
And
Scott.
at that point,
but
I'm
we
going to be
can,
fighting
though.
you in the dock.
All right.
And Persona 5 came out again this year. It released this year.
Wow, crazy. But yeah, like that.
No, it came out again this year with extra DLC.
That's
And it's great.
the vibes of.
So I mean, like, I guess it can win best DLC category.
All right, I'm just walking. I'm walking out of this conversation. Yeah, everyone's having a tough time, but you know, hopefully better stuff on the horizon. I don't know if you checked out, like Mike. He just he made a bunch of new review graphics and for his Crash 4 review. They're very good.
Didn't miss that.
You should check it out just to see. He did a great job on it. It's something he'd been working on for a while. So, and updated versus like the original ones that I made that were not very good. But you know, we're fine enough to get us here. So,
Good shit.
yeah, I'm not too worried about everyone. I think everything's gonna work out all right. We're excited about the 24-hour COVID relief stream. We're excited about new consoles. You know, like I think everyone except for Jared is getting one thing. Mike's getting a digital PS5. Quinn's getting a Series S. Scott is getting PS5 and a Series X. And
My man.
I'm getting both as well. So
I'm getting both. No. Pick one, buy my computer.
not gonna
I'll
happen.
drop the price by $100.
Oof.
Jared should be the contrarian that he is, and is like, I'll get myself a 2DS again just out of spite.
Jarrett buys Scott's computer out of bigger spite. It's time for bets. This week's bet: how many Twitch viewers will Dirt 5 have this time next week? I don't know anyone that's excited about Dirt 5, but I imagine there's probably a few hundred folks that might hang out.
100 folks.
A couple, one or two, you know. What do you think, Nabashin?
This is just grand total
Grand total for Dirt 5.
for when we record.
Yeah. So either Saturday, Sunday next week, hopefully.
Just before the new consoles come out.
Yeah. That's why it's an interesting bet. Dirt 5 also coming to Xbox Series X. Getting a big upgrade, hopefully. It sounds like the Series X version that runs at 120 FPS. Which is very cool.
4,500.
Okay. 4,500. Scott?
We're going with a fat 500.
Nice. Tony?
697.
697. I said 600. All the three of us are around that same area. It was very interesting.
Low expectations.
Low
all around.
expectations. Yeah.
Listen, the last time I heard about Dirt was Dirt 2. Why is there a Dirt 5?
Yeah, it's interesting. Like the studio that made it, like they closed and then they like kind of came back together under a new studio, like or they brought on a lot of folks from other studios that had closed, like the folks that made oh gosh, what was that I can't remember. Not Motorsport. It was something like that. But another like Motorstorm. Yes, thank you. Another kind of that like dirty, grungier racing game, like off-road racer. So Onrush. Yeah, also the folks that made Onrush. So it's kind of like a dream team of folks making this kind of game at the very least. So maybe it's good. Codemasters. That's the name of the current developer. Last week's bet. This time next week, when I check the top 10 open critic reviews for Trails of Cold Steel 4, how many times will I see the word anime in those top 10 reviews? Scott and I were only folks here for this bet. I bet 8. Scott bet 20. The real number was 5. And I will take the win. All right, now is she ready to get caught up on these scores? I'm sure you'll be very surprised by how this has gone. I am in last with 6 points. I actually got 2 in a row, which I'll take. Nobishin, you're in the lead with 13 points. Scott above me with 8. Tony just behind you with 10.
Why am I?
No one's caught up. You just had a big enough lead that you didn't.
I'm getting close.
You didn't need any
But
other.
I wasn't
bets.
here for a couple weeks, so
Yeah, it's getting close.
I gave 2 free ones to Alex.
Yeah, that's how I thought of it. So that's the show. Thank you all so much for hanging out. We love you all very much. Hopefully you're out there being good, being safe, and hopefully you voted already. If you haven't, I'm sorry. It's too late, probably, by the time you hear this. Thank you to Danny Wiesner for opening music of 2-player co-op and our closing music of The World is Saved. He's got a new song he's been working on. He sent me a version of it. I think it's pretty good. So you should check it out. Check out his music. Look forward to that song coming out soon, hopefully. DannyWiesner.bandcamp.com. That's where you can get his music.
Shout out to OK Beast.
Shout out to OK Beast. Has ended. The era of OK Beast has ended. Alex Van Aken now part of Game Informer. Ian Purcell editing for big streamers. Living their best life. I gotta find out what my other internet dad got up to. I was only on leaderboard for 1 season, but it was enough for family, in my opinion. But yeah, shout out to OK Beast. Obviously, wonderful, wonderful folks, all friends, and happy to see them all growing. Hopefully. And I wanted to give another shout out because you've been listening to his stuff as well. I don't know how to say his last name, so I'm gonna probably brutalize it. Alex Mokala, I think, is how I would say it. He's a YouTuber that does just. I've been watching his stuff since Final Fantasy VII came out earlier this year. I don't know when you started listening to his stuff, Nobshin, but
Like literally this week.
yeah, he's a YouTuber who like breaks down and kind of takes a deeper look at video game music and video game compositions. I think you would really like his stuff in particular, Tony. He does like a lot of music theory type stuff, but he also then takes the music and kind of makes his own version of the arrangement and then tries to meld genres between different games. He's like, I'm going to make Mario sound like Bloodborne, or like, I'm going to make Persona sound like Bloodborne, stuff like that. So it's really cool.
Or just make it funky.
Or make it funky.
Funky.
Yeah, he made some funky Final Fantasy XIV music. So yeah, Alex Mokala, I think it's Moukala. I think if you just look him on Twitter or YouTube, you'll find him. But he's great. His music is great. I kind of want him to make like original video game soundtrack, like scores and stuff. Like I want him to be in development and stuff. I'd love to hear that stuff.
Well, then make a game then.
All right, let me just get started.
So Neil, the MMORPG.
Yes, with really dramatic Bloodborne-like music.
You know what?
Just me getting out of bed, just like crazy horns and pianos.
You walk out of your room and Lorcan's there, you know, Claire P style.
His ass just pointed toward me, like no. It's just a collage of different inside jokes from this dumb
And
podcast.
no one knows what the fuck we're talking about.
Yeah, man, like that's like 8 years ago levels of podcast layers you got to go deep for. So, but that's it. That's the show. We're into this here. Thank you all for hanging out. Thank you, Scott, Tony, Nobshin, for joining me. Glad to have the quartet back together. I love you all. Big hugs all the way around. Play your game. Wait. I've been your host, Alex O'Neill. I forget that sometimes. Now you may play your game. Stay rational. We will talk to you all next week.
Else?
There's no titles.
All right, see you guys.
No, Scott said something funny. God damn it. Oh, no, it was Shigatig, the Great Co-op Killer. That's right.
That wasn't me.
That was really
I'm pretty sure that was you.
Yeah, I said
That totally was you.
I said Shigatig, but then Nobshin just laughed and said, yes, the Great Co-op Killer.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Shigatig. Yeah, I actually spell this.
I think I could say that title
Okay.
from memory.
Scott, do you want to say the episode number? It's 486.
But I said it last.
Oh, I didn't know. Tony, you want to say it?
Well, it's mostly because I minimized the Google Doc and now my computer doesn't want to behave.
Okay, that's fine.
I can't open tabs and hold down the push dock button.
I can say it, or Scott, it's 46.
This is the Rational Passion Podcast, episode 486.
I already forgot what it was. Chickadee, what was it?
The Great Co-op Killer.
Chickadee, the Great Co-op Killer.
Perfect. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Nicole, for hanging out and watching. Bye-bye.
Bye.